Hi guys, welcome or welcome back. Thanks so much for joining me today. It's another Roasty Toasty, and so for Roasty Toasty rules, there's going to be a disclaimer come up on the screen. Essentially, everybody has submitted their images to this feature, knowing that it is primarily for entertainment purposes, not education purposes. So basically, the point is that I'm as brutal as possible. I still find that really difficult, but I'm gonna try my hardest. So please do not come at us in the comments about, oh, this is so demoralizing for new photographers, because literally this is what they signed up for. So essentially what we do is we rate the picture and we either roast it with a flame. Oh, it lit.
Yeah, and you weren't expecting it, so it's like, there it is.
We either roast it with a flame or we toast to it with a drink. Now, no alcoholic beverages because it is currently 10:30 a.m. on a work day, and therefore we're going to be toasting with the magnificence that is Yorkshire tea. So we've got our roasts and we've got our toasts, and essentially Dan's going to show me images that I've not seen before submitted by you guys, and I'm going to give them my honest appraisal and either roast them if they're perhaps not good, or toast them if I would put them on the wall. And so the benchmarks, what are the benchmarks again? So we've got
Fridge magnet.
Wouldn't even put it on a fridge magnet is a roast. Yeah. And if I would put it on the wall of my house, it would be a pure toast.
I think that's what it was.
There's a middle range where we would put it on a fridge magnet, perhaps give it to your mum. Anyway, without further ado, Dan's got his screen of stuff over this side. I've got the screen that I can see stuff on at this side. And he's basically just going to ping an image on the screen and you guys can watch my initial reaction. So hopefully you'll be able to hear with this microphone that we've got in play today. If needed, I will move the mic around to in front of me. Should I do that now? Let's do that. By the way, just to preface this, I am actually a good photographer. I feel like people should know that.
Who said you're good?
Wow. Cut deep. It's like a burn. Okay, right, let's start.
Do I just literally click it?
Hit me, Dan. Go on, Dan.
Do I just literally click it?
Yes. Oh, look. It's a little gosling. Is it a gosling? Like Ryan Gosling?
My first thought was it's a little duck. Duckling.
Is it a duck, though? It looks quite tall. I don't know. It would be more fun if it was like Ryan Gosling.
Just like Ryan Gosling's face to put onto the head.
You do that in genitive film. Okay. Well, I mean, first of all, I think it's really cute. It looks like the photographer's got good focus on the eye of the focus baby bird, which is the one that's central in the scene. We've got a little bit of framing happening with some of the bodies that we've got in shot. Yes, the fact that this baby bird has got a assassin behind it with the other bird who's looking at it.
Devil is possessed.
It looks really angry. It looks kind of like how some of my teachers glared at me in school when I was disruptive in the classes. Like, angry.
I was like,
No, I'm not. Do you actually need me to do it again?
I wouldn't have said it otherwise.
Like, But I think it's so cute. I like the colour. The colour tone looks good. The greenery that we've got going on. Yes, there's a big bit in front of the bird. Maybe I'd prefer if that was a bit lower down, if that was possible. A little bit more room around the little duck's baby bird's foot thing going on. But you know what? I would put this on a fridge magnet. I would. Maybe not on my wall. There's a few really bright highlights, but I'm gonna give it a toast. It is not deserving of a roast. Therefore, we will toast and drink. Next one.
Let's go there.
It's not something I'd want to meet on a walk, you know, probably. Fairly good space around the subject, quite tight. Would love for you to be lower down, but obviously we've got some shrubbery happening that we don't want to be involved in. I think I perhaps would put this on a fridge magnet. There's a lot of busyness happening, but colour looks like it's well handled. But I do want to do a focus check because I have an inkling that the focus is actually back. So could we just do a check on that? I mean, it's hard to tell because the resolution's really not great. Catchlights do look over brightened, but for me, based on my experience, it looks like the focus is actually on that section of the neck, lower down. So a little bit further back than the eyes, just based on physics. So I would say that we've maybe missed the focus on the eyes as the sharpest point of the image, and therefore I do technically have to roast it and not toast it. I would maybe make it as if you took the picture, you could make it as a fridge magnet for yourself, but purely on technical grounds, I'm going to have to give it a roast.
So aggressive.
I get really excited when it starts. Next one. Oh, look, he's having a little nap. This is actually a really good photograph because this is not a normal thing. Like, to have a horse who is in REM sleep that is completely sparko, laid flat out like a pancake, is really rare. And also to be able to get this shot, you would have had to be crawling along the floor in the vicinity of the horse. This is a pure toast, like 110%, even a chink. Because this is one that I think is so well captured. Now, dare I look at the focus? Maybe, because I can see the ear is soft, I can see the nose is soft, which means that the middle part, in this case, is actually sharper. I don't want to do it because I can see that there's an area of the cheek that I think is sharper than the eye, but can we go in? Oh, we can't zoom in, but I can look. No, I do actually think the front of the eye is super sharp, so this is fine for me. Zooming out, please. Thank you, Danielle. Zooming out. Is the fly required? Does the fly need to be in the photo? Perhaps not. I think you could maybe have cropped slightly more up from the bottom, but other than that, literally, I think this is a really great shot. Color balance is perfect. Contrast is great. No blown highlights, no clip shadows. Everything is working really nicely. Really shallow depth of field, but not too shallow that we don't have the important parts in the fray. And the little teethies are coming out, which I just think make it 100%.
It looks like it's smiling. You know, like when you fall, like when pretending to be asleep and someone walks in the room and you're like...
Yeah, this is, I would put this on the wall for me. Yeah, well done, whoever did this. Actually, it's quite a well-constructed image, in all fairness. Yes, we've got a fairly major colour issue with magenta pulling through. We can see this because we have on the shadow areas underneath the tail, we've got pink coming through. We can see that the red from the branches is being ripped out, which is, so the creator has selected the kind of redness and the pink to come through, but it's over pushed. The head of the bird is quite blue. Now, I'm not a bird species zoologist, biology. What's it called when you know loads of species? I'm not Charles Darwin. Okay? So I can't speak, with 100% accuracy. However, I do feel this is too blue and too magenta. So yes, there is a colour shift happening. However, compositionally, I think this is fairly strong. We could have lost a section of the right-hand side of the image up until the point where that branch meets the top. Can you just put a mouse where I'm talking? Yeah, cool. So somewhere in that gap, that window there, we could have lopped straight off the side and just taken that section out, which would have given us forward momentum composition. We've kept the leaf in. The leaf's got quite a good amount of space around it. Is it distracting? Yes. Is it important for the scale? Yes. And therefore it can stay. Background's got a lot of distractions happening. I think this is a really good attempt. I think it's a very, very, very good effort. And I think the photographers tried really hard. It's not going to go on my wall. I would put it on a fridge magnet. It's in the middle. It's neither a roast nor a toast purely from that colour perspective, but it does lean more towards a toast. So I'm being nice.
Gonna have no tea soon.
Right, moving on. Oh, what a little sweetheart. The markings on the face of this dog are insane.
It's like it's wearing goggles.
Is it real? Did you go in there with a Sharpie? I'm sure they are. Well, I hope they are real. I hope you're not drawing on animals. That would be not good. Unfortunately, in this one, this is going to be a roast, and I'm going to try and make it educational. I'm going to try and make it educational, okay? So we've got little tiny bit of a blue tone coming through, but not a lot. Like, the colour is not the end of the world. Expression of the subject looks disinterested. Potentially could be, depending on the moment that it was captured in, showing some signs of subtle stress with the panting and the ears tilted outwards/backwards. So the potentially, I'm not overly concerned about that. We've got eye gunk from puppy gunk in the eyes, which isn't ideal. The composition is too tight. This dog's got pointy ears, so you have to give more space below, because if you want to give room for those ears to sit, it means that you end up having the subject falling through the bottom of the frame, because the eyes are right on that horizon middle point. And we don't want that to happen. We need the eyes to be above that middle point in almost all cases, depending on the composition. So what's actually happening in this image is that we have that eye point and it's right in the middle of the frame. We needed to push that up, which means we need more space below, but we also need more space above. So compositionally is not ideal. Subject's pointing to the left-hand side, but there's no space to the left for the subject to go into. And the nose is the sharpest point. So unfortunately for this one, this would go in the bin. Me personally, for any competition level photographer, for any professional level photographer, and also for any early stage photographer, this should also be going in the bin, because we prioritize technical correctness and then creative bits and pieces after that. There is also a little bit of chromatic aberration. I'll link a video to that above. Coming through on the left side, you can see a green halo kind of coming through, so that's perhaps something to look at as well. But hopefully that was educational. What a sweetheart, what an amazing subject. Depth of field is really nice, just not in the right place. This is a really good shot, actually, but that eye looks soft, so we're going to have to punch in on this one. It's a no. Unfortunately, it's going for a straight roast regardless of the beauty of the image. The technical correctness is always the most important thing, and therefore, with this one, the eyes need to be the sharpest point, and therefore this is a roast. I'll let go now because that was a bit much and my thumb got hot. So... yes, fantastic composition, great depth of field. I'd love more space below and to the left, in all honesty, from a compositional perspective. But the point of the shot, like the moment of capture, is okay. A little tiny split second after that, when the front legs come out, would have been more impressive. However, with this one, unfortunately, the eyes are just soft, so it's just a no-go. It needs to go in the bin. Same principle as before, regardless of how everything else is being well controlled. Color, though, I will make a point of saying color is well controlled, and your highlights have been well controlled given the light, so props for that, but unfortunately in the bin. I know her. So I know the dog, so I know the creator, and as you can see, I'm supposed to be roasting it. I believe this was because I did do an image that came up in the random selection previously, and I was too nice about it. So she was not happy with that, and therefore I can only roast. Even the liar didn't want me to do this. I could pick loads of good things happening in this shot. There are loads of good things. However, we'll go for a pure roast. This is really hard to roast because, yes, it's like unretouched in terms of the width on it. But actually, you know, there's really good things coming through. I'm guessing I know once a competition level roast, in which case the focus is going to be the primary concern. So could we? Okay, so that will give me grounds for roasting. There is a little bit of motion blur actually happening through this. Just a little bit, not a great deal. The focus is actually on that eye. We can't see the eye. There isn't a catch light in the eye that I can see.
There is.
Yeah, but I can't see. It's like that's in the fluff. Like it's not a catch light in the eye. Also could have done with being slightly higher up, which she knows. So there's not much reason to pick that. Punching out, please, Daniel. Thank you. The composition could be improved in general just by getting rid of everything else and coming straight in on the subject. I would love some more shadow detail to come through in the mouth. The treat throw was fairly successful. It looks like perhaps I know was slightly higher up on this one, which I can understand given the circumstances. How am I supposed to roast it apart from the fact that you've just got a load of mess in the background that needed cleaning up? Some more work perhaps, a split second after would have been better for the timing. Her crazy hair sells it. The gridded Rooms with the gels are all looking great. The colour of the background has come through fairly solid actually after that. So I'm quite impressed with the background. In general, needs editing because I'm guessing it's unretouched. But other than that, I wouldn't put it on my wall as it is. I would crop it and probably stick it on a fridge magnet for my mum. She'd find it funny when she opened the fridge every day. But sorry, I know you're going to have to send me much worse than that if you want a true and accurate roast. It's a nice concept, isn't it? It's a nice concept. I wouldn't, for me personally, if you were to sell it as a commercial piece, I wouldn't put it on a magnet myself. I wouldn't put it on the wall. Mainly because of the angle of view and the composition, the focal length just aren't vibing with me particularly well. It's very, very orange warm light, which I don't have a problem with necessarily. But it does, because there's no normal colour of light or contrasting in the shadows. Well, the tree, I guess, is lit normally, isn't it? Up at the top, that's kind of normal colour. If it was just the one dog looking up at the tree and the background was completely different, this would be actually a really great concept, great idea. Because we've got the secondary dog that looks like they weren't invited to the Christmas tree party, that's where it sort of all falls apart a little bit. We needed that dog to be more involved in the story, because otherwise I'm just a bit confused and I feel like I want to go and give the one that's not interested a cuddle. It's not one for me. It's going to be a minor roast, like that length of a roast. I think the concept has legs. I think it needs a lot of refinement and a lot of work to make it kind of come through. But it's a nice idea, and the one that's looking up at the star deserves major treats because he's doing a great job as a model, really. Just needs some more refinement on this one. Aww! Look! This is going to be a toast, again, from the wildlife. I don't know if the eye is 100% sharp, but just as the general story, this is good. It's got legs. The little thing, not the little thing, but like the story has legs. We've got a story in here. It needed a bit of a crop, in all fairness, straight somewhere down this area, fairly tightish. Whoa!
I went too far down.
Just go nice and gently. There, yes, somewhere around about here. Purely because there's a tiny little strip at the bottom. Match that with space on that side. The eye would fall somewhere around the third if my guesstimations are correct. And the little animal would have space to move into. Yes, the whites are bright. I'm not overly concerned about them. A little bit of a tone down would be super. I think this is a good shot. I would put it on a fridge magnet, probably on a greetings card that I might give to my mum. So I'd say this is a great shot. Next one. Should we make this our last one? Yeah. We'll make this our last one.
Does that mean I have to try and choose a decent?
No,
I'm good there.
But it's white. Oh, that was a rubbish reveal, Dan. This is a really good shot. I like this one. Why don't I have any really bad ones this time? We could probably spin it both ways. It's a good composite. The way I know it's being composited is because the focal planes don't match. The math ain't mathing.
The math ain't mathing.
In this one, and I'm really bad at maths. The math ain't mathing in this one. There's no reason for a roast, so it's not a roast. It is a toast. However, dog number one, we're going to call number left.
Number left.
We're going to call the one on the left number one. The dog is reaching over the back of, I'm going to call it a sofa. I don't know if it is. Reaching over the back of the sofa. The eyes are past the back of the sofa and the eyes are sharp. Dog number two, on the other side, the nose is just reaching over the sofa, but the nose is completely out of focus and the focus is actually back set. So it is a composite. It's successful. It could be more successful if those focal planes matched more for mathing, but that's only for higher level work, competition work, rather than anything else. Nobody else would know about that. There's a few little streaky bits and lines knocking around that I'm not keen on. For example, can we zoom in on this area here, Dan? That looks like a mask edge. It is. Okay, unfortunately there's a mask edge, which gives me grounds to roast.
She is mean.
Well, it's a straight line mask edge. It's a retouching error. And there's a circular one as well down the bottom. So this is where those focal plane images came together, and didn't come together quite so successfully over the rest of the image. However, zooming out, please, Daniel, thank you. The rest of the scene is great. I don't feel like we need quite so much space above, but I do agree that I think it's an interesting composition with more space above. Just needed some more refinement on the retouching work. But other than that, I think it's really well done. Be careful that that white paw doesn't drift off into the background, into obscurity. But everything else is cute. And the little dog with bat ears, dog number 2, is super cute. Super cute.
Question for here.
Yeah, Dan?
If it was you, would you turn down the highlights on the paw there?
No, not necessarily, no. If you zoom in on them, they're not really highlights as like per se. Okay. It could be that you made them more blurry, but then again, that's another mismatch for the focal plane that we've got going on. So there's just a focal plane issue coming through, some retouching bits and pieces, but I think it was well shot. Some noise reduction would be a good idea. I'll go ahead and link to a video on epic noise reduction because all those little dots coming up aren't ideal. Okie dokie, that wraps up Roasty Toasty. If you enjoyed this, then let us know. If you didn't, then I don't really care. Please feel free to submit your own images to Roasty Toasty feature. The link will be somewhere in the description below. Also, we've had a fun time.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll see you next time.